what makes news here and of course all over the world. But what else is making news is the guys on the other side and the fantastic three. Yeah, perfect. And let me just start by asking a question. Probably I'll start with yeah, Priscilla, for that matter. If you are a district, which district would you be in Uganda?
That's a good one. Wait for it. Which district would I be in Uganda? No, Kalangala. Yes.
What?
Kalangala district.
You can't even pronounce the name.
How do you pronounce it?
Yes, District Kalangala. Good morning, Kalangala.
Good morning to you, District who? So yours would be District.
Kampala, Siba Kampala.
We have to eat our puta, come rain, come sunshine, come investors.
The collection of everything in Uganda has to get here. Everyone who's fishing, they fish to bring to Kampala. So
yeah, but you see, the lifestyle of these people that live in such places is actually more relaxing. That's why they die later in life. Like they die in their 90s, 100, whereas people in Kampala, with everything that you have, 40, 50, you're packing up and you're leaving. There you're breathing fresh air, you're eating fresh food, and you're dealing with fresh
Madam
things.
Kalangala, Kalangala, I'm not leaving Kampala. Robert, morning.
Morning to you,
so
Felix.
Which district should you be, my brother?
Kampala.
Kampala is taken.
I would be Kampala.
You go to Wachiso. But anyway, how are you, man?
I'm very fine.
Why Kampala?
Kampala, reason being is that this is the epicenter of everything, and Bank of Uganda is just within Kampala.
Does it make a difference?
You want to be the epicenter of everything.
I mean, not very far from the money. People come from all over every part of Uganda. Yeah, their desire is to come and make life in Kampala.
Do you know how people prepare when they're coming to Kampala? I met one of my very, very good mamas from Fort Portal there at Carrier Courts, and she told me when I'm coming to Kampala, like I don't sleep. I literally have to prepare a good day, the what, like, you know, that excitement you have that never goes. And for some of you who grew up in a village, morning. Good morning.
District of Opportunities.
Good morning,
And
Felix. I can see the Kampala boys here. Tebava Kampala.
So, Molen, which district would you be?
Well, I like to tour. So for me, it's a given. I would be Fort Portal, the tourism city of Uganda. If I'm that, then that means I don't need to go a lot of places to be able to do what I love. So I'll just small walking. I'm at some tourist sites.
So we have
yeah, I'll be Fort Portal, definitely.
Kampala, and Fort Portal.
Yes.
The tourism city.
Well,
yes.
Our viewers out there, please tell us which city you'd want to be, in case you are a city. And why, yeah, actually, yeah. And why. You tell us, share with us why and which particular city you would be if they asked you to be a city in this beautiful country. I almost said this beautiful Kampala. But anyway, it's a Friday. So much, those days Robert would be telling us, make sure I don't leave your jacket on your chair. And make people like think you're still in office when you are actually out of office. What do you do with your weekends, Priscilla, nowadays?
Wow, weekends are mostly for resting.
Madam Kalangala.
I mean, in Kalangala, you go by the beach side, put your legs up and just sleep while the breeze whisks past your hair and the sand is warming up your blood and the water is just there. You can either swim or fish.
I'm just relating right now. I'm like,
the way she's speaking,
Kalangala
I wish it was
fun.
true.
She's taking you there. I've already seen myself there.
In Kalangala.
You're coming to Kalangala.
Like,
So now you want to leave Kampala to Kalangala, Robert?
You go to the beach, the fresh air, and
Wait when Molen starts. Molen.
And then you hear some guy deep frying the fish and like,
I know.
Wait until you can't eat in Porta.
that was crushed. That is that good.
But guess what? I also like to just be out there, be somewhere fresh, somewhere where I'm not interrupted. I'm able to just be in the waters and float away. So that's just something I like. And I think recently I've been so much into doing a lot of exercise. So yes, my swimming again.
Wow.
Yeah. It's one of those activities I like to do.
We are giving you Uncle Bob an opportunity to market Kampala. Clearly, they are taking. What do you have to say?
Well,
in this traffic jam, air pollution, congestion, vendors on the streets,
have to wear a mask all the time.
The district of opportunities.
Right.
That is Kampala, the district of opportunities.
But
A person will leave the
everywhere.
village without any idea, but says Kangende Kampala. Truly speaking, they will come here, whatever they will do, and they will go back if they know how to manage their finances better off.
Do you remember that song?
So which other district than Kampala?
One of those classic songs, I know Ruben will relate easily. They say, Ogenda wa.
Ngenda mchibuga Kampala. So that is the best. But for
No one talked about Ngenda
Well,
wa
and how old are these boys from Kampala?
No, you guys seem to be from Tamaga era.
You see, even in Kampala, you don't age. You don't age that much. So we may to be here for years.
If you want to pull out a photo of you 5 years,
You don't
age. You don't want to go. You had an afro, my friend, so you don't want to go there.
Well, anyway, try to be also part of our conversation, as we said earlier, to share with us which particular city, town, district you would be if you are to be from that kind of life. But of course, apart from that, we also want to share with you that today we'll be having some very nice performances from a band. A band, like, you know, a band, when you talk about bands, what comes to your mind? Let me just ask Robert.
First, what comes to my mind is
like, what's that exciting thing you're waiting for in a band?
first are live performances.
Okay.
Because most of the bands,
They sing live.
they sing live, contrary to the other where a person will put a CD. So every time I go to watch band
Miming,
music,
actually,
yeah,
is
I know
good
I'm going to have
to enjoy.
live.
Okay.
Then also I know it's not a one-man thing, because a band is a group of people that are giving out. So there's variety in terms
So
of
what's your best instrument,
instruments.
Robert, in a band setup?
I wouldn't say I have one specific, maybe. To be honest, I love so much listening to music, trumpet, but band music, I just love the voices, not the instruments.
Priscilla, today we have in a band.
Yes.
What do we expect? Are you part of the banders or the bandies?
I'm part
Are
of
you
the
bandi?
And you know, previously bands, every band almost had a guitar. And I love that
Definitely.
guitar. But
Definitely.
of late, I see bands that even just use their mouth and they make these sounds. And
Yeah, a lot of instruments
yeah,
coming
yeah. So
They're
the
being
guitar
convinced,
thing, I
like,
miss the
you may
guitar
look
thing.
for drums and not see one, but you see a
Yes.
small plate of all those things.
Yeah.
So Priscilla, today
Yeah.
we have in the band, what do we expect?
Well, the band is called Mseto Band, and it is a vocal band. They play quite a number of instruments, if you ask me, but the guitar is definitely a must given to expect on Mseto Band, and it has a number of vocals. You know, as if choir, like they have soprano, they have alto, they have tenors, they have, yeah, so expect a lot of, you know, sound that's going to leave your hair standing on your
So they
skin.
have some bass, people like us who sing
Yes,
bass.
yes.
There is
People
no
like,
You want
person.
to join Kirabo?
There is, in fact, there is no person who
What
can
is-
sing bass.
Watch
Who
the next
is-
forward.
Who is? Let's go into our local stories. That is we picking up that. But let's have a sneak peek at what did happen yesterday, and of course, a local scene, and we'll be taking you also international scene, and of course, I will be waiting to get into the beautiful soul music of our band today. But before that, let's look at our local stories.
And we'll start by looking at that's the Education Committee of Parliament, where recently owners of private schools had a proposal to have 100 million each. But the Ministry of Education and Sports is discussing with proprietors of private schools on a common recovery plan ahead of school reopening. The State Minister for Primary Education, Dr. Joyce Moriku Kaduchu, told the Committee on Education on emerging plans. The Education Committee has scrutinized a motion tabled by some members of Parliament and proposals by the private school owners seeking government support to establish a COVID recovery fund to ensure private schools can recover from the impact of COVID-19. In the latest request, the National Private Education Institutions Association of Uganda wants government to provide each school 100 million as relief fund ahead of the official opening of schools next year. While appearing before the Education Committee of Parliament, State Minister for Primary Education, Dr. Joyce Moriku Kaduchu, said the law does not allow them to use public resources to fund private schools. Members of the committee suggested that the 48 billion needed to print self-study materials should be channeled to help schools whose reopening remains uncertain due to effects of COVID-19. The deputy committee chairperson, Abigaba Cuthbert Mirembe, proposes a special fund to address the needs of schools that need recovery. The committee is expected to produce a report on the same next week.
Government is to enhance salaries of all public officers, starting with scientists, to reawaken the morale and integrity of public servants. Minister for Public Service Mururi Mukasa William has told the media that government approved pay targets for public service covering all employee groups and officers. He says government will start with a salary increment for scientists, where a senior consultant will earn 20 million shillings, an entry-level graduate scientist will earn 4 million, and a medical officer 5 million. Science is a prerequisite for rapid economic development, and the development of civilization has been spread by science, where the private sector can rely on science for economic development. Although government has not yet hit the target compared to their counterparts in other countries, the minister believes more scientists abroad are soon coming home for better pay. On teachers that are in other ventures, the minister says government is to pay some money to private teachers because they are highly affected by COVID-19. Mukasa says some of the payment is taking effect this financial year, with medical interns allowances, and the bigger enhancement is starting the next financial year.
Away from the scientists and better pay, we now move to police and vehicle inspections, where police is set to enforce mandatory pre-inspection for vehicles in a move aimed at minimizing such incidents. This follows the recent incident in which a Kabale-bound gateway bus from Kampala developed a malfunction that caused fire at Kampini Ngisa in Mpigi district. Last Tuesday, a Kabale-bound bus was forced to abandon its journey in Kampini Ngisa, Mpigi, when fire ravaged the vehicle. As the police is trying to find out what could have sparked off the fire, the Assistant Commissioner of Police, Kirungi Sulaimani, acting as the Commissioner in charge of vehicle inspection in Uganda Police Force, put down some notes for the public to understand. Under such circumstances, the bus driver can be partly blamed for the accident. As to whether it's a weak enforcement or non-compliancy giving room to such incidents, the Commissioner gave an insight on the matter. Police is now emphasizing pre-inspection of vehicles before transit. For the past 10 years, Uganda has ranked high in Africa and in the region, with over 30% fatal accidents recorded every year.
Finally, on the local scene, President Yoweri Museveni warned against attacking scientists who have transformed the country. He referred to the allegations which are being investigated by Parliament, pinning the Minister for Science and Technology, Dr. Monica Musenero, on the claims that 31 billion shillings meant for COVID-19 vaccine development are misallocated. President Museveni's reactions raised dust as different experts questioned the fate of the investigations, which Parliament tasked a special committee comprising of 5 members. On Wednesday, 11th November 2021, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, instituted a special committee to investigate allegations that 31 billion shillings meant for COVID-19 vaccine development in Uganda has been misallocated under the stewardship of the then Senior Presidential Advisor in Epidemics, Dr. Monica Musenero. While officiating the World Science Day at Kololo Airstrip on Wednesday, President Yoweri Museveni described the move to investigate the scientific community, describing as an abuse of office. And according to the President, the Minister for Science and Technology, Dr. Monica Musenero, under the office of the President, has a history of profound results, and any harm to her works cannot be ignored. On to the international scene.
Now Belarus comes out to threaten to cut off gas to the EU in border row. The Belarus leader has threatened to cut off gas supplies to Europe if sanctions are imposed over an escalating migrant crisis at the country's western border. Thousands of people, mostly from Iraq, Syria and Yemen, are at the border with Poland, enduring freezing conditions in the hope of crossing into the European Union. Now, EU officials have accused Belarus of provoking the crisis to undermine security, an allegation it denies in relation to the EU is reportedly planning for fresh package of sanctions against Belarus. Now, on Thursday, the country's long-term authorization leader, Alexander Lukashenko, warned, if they impose additional sanctions on us, we must respond. Now, still about international stories, Russia moves to shut down human rights group that is Memorial, and Russia's prosecutors are moving to shatter the country's most respected rights group, Memorial. It announced Thursday in the latest legal effort to silence independent voices critical of, that is President Vladimir Putin. Memorial, founded in 1992 in Moscow, said it was notified by Russia's Supreme Court that prosecutor had filed a demand to dissolve the group over systematic violation of foreign agent legislation. Now back to Africa. South Africa's last apartheid president dies at the age of 85. Now, F.W. de Klerk, the former president of South Africa and the last white person to lead the country, has died. 85 years old, had been diagnosed with cancer earlier this year. He came to power in 1989 under apartheid, a system that legalized racism, but later became a key figure in the transition to democracy. He ordered Nelson Mandela's release from prison, leading to historic polls where the anti-apartheid leader became the first black president, and de Klerk shared the Nobel Peace Prize with Mandela for helping to negotiate an end to apartheid. But his legacy divides opinion in South Africa.
Well, coming in from the climate summit in Glasgow, temperatures fear as a climate summit enters final day. Now, the COP26 climate summit in Glasgow is entering its final day amidst growing fears that the goal of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius is unlikely to be met. Now, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres bluntly told the Associated Press news agency that the goal was on life support. He said the summit would probably not see governments make the pledges needed to cut carbon dioxide emissions by enough. Now, earlier, the COP26 President Alok Sharma warned that the time was running out to close a deal before the summit ended. Scientists say limiting global temperature rises to 1.5 degrees Celsius will help humanity avoid the worst climate impacts, and this is compared to pre-industrial temperatures. Now, at Paris in 2015, world leaders pledged to try to keep the world from warming by more than between 1.5 degrees Celsius to 2 degrees Celsius through sweeping greenhouse gas emission cuts. Latest projections are for a rise of 2.7 degrees Celsius. Now, Mr. Guterres warned that promises to reduce emissions were meaningless while governments continued to invest in fossil fuels. Promises ring hollow when the fossil fuel industry still receives trillions of subsidies, he said.
Local stories and international stories, we know that you did catch those of some that you did miss yesterday, but of course much is happening even locally that we'll be having discussions into. Later on, Robert will be taking us through the whole week with Takali and Ivan, but also we'll be having interaction with our band, which we want to give space as we take a break, that when it comes on we'll be starting our next segment with them on set, and probably we'll be able to share who are these people and what do we expect. Let's take a break. We'll be back very well. Of course, before we do take the break, I want to also just quickly ask Robert, what is that thing that you relate with when it comes to music that for you hear and you're like, for me that is just what I want out of music?
As in an instrument?
Anything.
I think if the guitar is played and the person knows very well.
What song do you enjoy on the guitar, Robert, mostly?
Afrigo, for me, they give me the best in terms of some of their songs.
Like which song? I'm going to sing for you that song in the guitar's voice.
The guitar's voice.
Let
me spare you. Let me spare you. Let me spare you.
But which song do you love most from Africa?
I think I love songs of Lucky Dube. The late. Yes, the late Lucky Dube.
Africa, Lucky? Okay.
No, Africa. You asked me Africa. Yes.
Okay. Molen, do you love band music, Molen?
Yeah, I love band music. I love band music. That's for sure. The voices that come with it, and you know, seeing that kind of symphony, to see the voice, the instruments come together, for me, that's it. And you know, when it's live, band brings in that live performance, and you're able to hear, you know, the singer bring out different tones, and for me, it's the symphony, and that I like so much. So I think some of my favorite bands, I don't think I have a favorite, but I like band music. Yeah. Priscilla is looking at me like, what are you talking about? You don't have a favorite band?
It's a very simple thing, the beat. If there's a beat that allows my heart to beat along, we're good, and that's music for me, plain and simple.
Yeah, and especially like for me, I think the saxophone, that music that comes, is like the way they just tone it around, and I'm like, yeah.
Trumpets, but now I think the sax is taking over.
No, I mean, of course, it comes with the appreciation of instruments in different societies. Because in Uganda, we were still tied more so to traditional instruments. So the introduction of foreign instruments, and then also people appreciating them as part of general music, daily music, just like jazz music wasn't really our thing. But now we have jazz concerts, we have jazz festivals, and people are actually buying into. People pay 200,000 shillings to just go for jazz in Kampala.
If you're talking of any expensive concert,
it's a
jazz concerts are very expensive.
That's very true. That's very true.
You're not been to a Kadogo concert, Robert, and then you don't know how expensive it is.
Oh.
But anyway, with me are the people we've been waiting for, the instruments you have been talking about. I don't know if this is the guitar. Anyway, you guys are welcome.
Thank you so much.
We say thank you so much for making time to come. And I understand you guys are from Mseto. Is it Mseto?
Yes,
Wow.
Mseto Nation.
What's that again? Just briefly. What does Mseto mean?
Mseto means something that we're going to keep for someone to come in a few minutes.
Okay.
In a few minutes.
What do you expect?
We expect some really beautiful music. I believe music is really wonderful, but it's been brought down to a certain place where it's not respected as much.
Okay.
Because the attention has been taken away from the creation to personalities, I feel like, as a person.
When we come back, the first question, Joan, you're going to ask Nick, is it? Beck.
It's Beck.
There is no way you can detach personality from music.
Yes.
And John, how are you?
I'm well.
Which instrument are you again?
I'm a vocalist. It's an instrument.
Not
it's an
the
instrument.
adungu.
I still play, but this is my instrument.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's good to have you though.
Thank you.
So we're going to take a break. Now you know what we are going to have. We have the adungu, we have the Ntongoli.
I'm a rapper.
So which district would you be? I was asking my colleagues here, which district would they be if there were districts in Uganda? Joan, which district would you choose to be?
Mbara.
Which Mbarara? And which district would you be?
Damn, I've been here all my life. Kampala, I guess.
Kampala is taken actually.
Oh, is it?
We are so many in Kampala. I know it.
I don't want to be.
So Priscilla wants to be Karangara, Molen wants to be Fort Porto, Robert says Chisenyi, around that side, which is in Kampala anyway. So, but anyway, well, let's take a break. I'll be back and we will be, of course, ushering ourselves into the nice and beautiful music of Mseto. Mseto Nation. Let's take a break. We'll be back shortly.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Topic of the day on UBC, brought to you by.
Their job is to keep you and me healthy and well. But sometimes they try in vain.
How to get points? Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Kagano twalekedde ekyatulese tuzza tukalanga enfunda eziwerako ddala eno yego TV Super eyabakaguje njagala wekaanyi ewatali kwemamaaza olwo tuba tusimbudde nego TV Super dupa wawawa era nga bakutuusyako ekiga ekyabakabejja abasajja eŋŋwaŋŋuli kwogata ne busineema obujjudde omuhabati ku $5,015 wawawa soka blaza weefunye ekirungo kya Go TV Super ekijjudde obulungi ove mu baaje.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Patriotism is a feeling of love, devotion, and the willingness to sacrifice for one's country.
I say no to corruption because I put my country first. I choose peace over violence because I put my country first.
I love Uganda. I serve Uganda. I sacrifice for Uganda. I'm loyal to Uganda. I love myself.
Be patriotic. Uganda first. This message is brought to you by the National Secretariat for Patriotism Co-Uganda, Office of the President.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Every marriage has 100% chances of succeeding. You know why? Because God created marriage, and God never creates failure, and God never designs anything to fail. Every marriage has 100% chances of succeeding. Is your marriage struggling and you're wondering whether it will ever succeed, whether you will ever make it, whether it's even worth holding on to? You got to tune into Unlocking Marital Bliss, because right here we provide the keys to unlock the bliss in your marriage, and you will be able to succeed. We've had testimonies, and lives are changing day by day.
Marriage must be a discipline. It must not be handled like a casual thing.
As women, when we have the outward expression, even our form of respect is tied to the outward things that you do.
Some women now have working class. They don't know how to handle their husbands because the marriage has become like question and answer marriage. Do you have any tea? Don't you have hands to prepare it? Why have you come back late? Did I take your blanket? It's question and answer marriage.
Not any other place, but every Sunday, 3 p.m., right here at UBC. With the one and only Cyrus Rod, not any other.
Unlocking Marital Bliss.
Buli munya-Uganda nayitinga amakuru marungi. UBC West eyina amakuru marungi kandi agali kwesigwa. Leero za program zaayo ziri omu Lunyakitara hamwe n'Olufumbira. UBC West eyina tekinologiya ey'omulembe eri kugibaasisa kuhika omu bicweka byona omu ihanga nangu n'aheeru y'eihanga. Tukwatire aha frequencies ezi: Kisoro 97.7 Fama,
Kabari 93.7 Fama,
Hoima 99.1 Fama. Kampala igana 5 katonyeze mushanju fama. Mbarara china na mushanju katonyeze 4 fama. Footpoto china na 8 katonyeze 8 fama. Masindi igana 5 fama. Kurikiriza UBC West ohurire mbaganiza. UBC West empika huna.
When you talk about our motherland Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, you cannot fail to smile because of the smile that fills the faces of the citizens. Our nice good weather and nature that sustains us all, that enables us all to continue each in their own way because we are all different even according to each individual's work. But what joins us to become one person is the sweetness from the flavored drink Alleluia Jingati drink and Alleluia Tamarind drink. The flavor that quenches your thirst while at the same time treating and healing your body because it is 100% natural. Enjoy the drink that has got the tamarind juice in it. Made by Alleluia Reflexology, Healthy Solutions and Nutritional Research Center Limited. Get yourself a bottle of Alleluia from all shops around.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
This general advocacy, general family education. I can give you an example of the health profession. Health profession, they are able to distinguish between clinical work, where a doctor will give counseling to a patient, but also what they call health education and health promotion. And this involves even the non-health people. It involves the political leaders, the LCs, the community gatekeepers, the religious leaders. All of those are involved. So let's not make extension only mean the interface between a vet and a farmer, or the interface between a crop expert and the farmer. Bring advocacy for farming. When the president is saying, let's educate people to bazukse, we wake them up, stop working only for the stomach, to join the money economy. That's beyond the garden interaction of an extension worker and a farmer. It calls for crusading leaders, religious leaders, to sound calls, to tell the people when you have land, this is how you should utilize it. When you are choosing enterprises, look at this mathematics. Now this goes beyond an agronomist. This goes beyond a vet. It perhaps requires a social worker. That's why you have CDOs. So the point.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Kagalino twalekedde ekyatulese tuzze tukalanga enfunda eziwererako ddala. Eno yego TV Super ey'abakaguje njagala wekkaanyi. Ewatali kwemamaaza olwo tuba tusimbudde ne Go TV Super Duper waawawa. Era nga bakutuusyako ekiga ekyabakabejja abasajja eŋŋwaŋŋuli kwogata ne busineema obujjudde omuhabati ku mitwalo 5 mu 15 waawawa. Soka Blaza weefunye ekirungo kya Go TV Super ekijjudde obulungi ove mu baaje.
This weekend on UBC.
Do you have a passion in makeup? Do you want to be one of the greatest makeup artists?
Today we have a conversation with a freelancer makeup artist. She's actually a very talented makeup artist, as one of the best in town.
Hi, how are you? My name is Yvonne Namfuka Kasule. A lot of people just call me Yvonne. I'm 32 years old. I'm a makeup artist.
Do men put on makeup?
Yes, they do.
Are you sure?
You need a little bit touch up. It's not that we're going to transform you and change you into some, just a little touch up, just small blisters and everything. But well, I usually say that less is more.
This week on UBC.
Experts Viola and Barbara bring you the Property Hour.
What space do I need to be in order to know more about real estate and construction in Uganda?
Well, it is right here at the Property Hour. It is the only space that fills the information gap between the real estate and construction stakeholders and the marketplace.
Yes, we are talking about the hottest commodity we have in real estate, property that brings you income. What do they consider, especially when they are coming up with such property?
We tried as much as possible to make it a green hotel. A recreational area, a tennis court, one of the best pools, Infinity Pool, if you look at the design.
As far as property trends are concerned, the colors.
This show is informative, inclusive, and up-to-date. Proudly powered by HK Properties, Uganda. Every Saturday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. on UBC TV.
This weekend.
Youth of Purpose.
Why is it taking long for us to start extracting our oil?
There are all issues of regulations. So it's a lot of work before you go into designing and front-end engineering, etc. to make sure that this is a big thing. Nobody wakes up in the morning and spends $20 billion and rushes it.
True.
People who have rushed it have got beaten.
As youth, we are supposed to position ourselves in a way that we are ready for oil and gas.
If I want to position myself right to benefit from the oil and gas sector, what should I be doing right now?
You need to update your credentials in regard to health and safety. You need to update your credentials in regard to international certification and recognition. Skill up.
I believe that shall have the job opportunities, infrastructure development. That is, if we handle it well.
We need somebody to provide 2 eggs for 10,000 people every day.
Uganda first.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda. Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Welcome back, of course. It is Good Morning Uganda on UBC. Now, we did say earlier that we're going to be having something quite special, something different, but also something to do usher you into your weekend. Now, today being a Friday, we want to Friday your day, to fry your day. But guess with what oil, Priscilla?
Palm oil, sunseed oil, coconut oil. Yeah, all those oils mixed together. Trust me, they give you a nice pan Friday.
But anyway, what we're going to be doing this Friday is also to introduce something new to your TV in terms of Good Morning Uganda and UBC, and that's the reason why we see a very beautiful lady in the middle of me and another lady there. And do you want me to ask her the other question?
Yes, she has to answer the question.
So, she says she's Brenda, but I want to refer her to a district, as I asked John earlier. Which district would you be if you were to be a district?
I would have to be in Barara.
Why?
I'm from Barara.
Okay, what else?
The land of milk and honey.
Well,
but I've never seen this honey in Barara, by the way.
By the way, the honey thing,
the honey part, I've never understood it.
There's a way they tie themselves in
honey. It's supposed to be a secret.
Ah,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So can I come for the honey?
Oh, sure. If you come to my home, I'll show you.
Okay, tomorrow I'll be there.
Well, of course, as we said earlier, we're going to be having music. And Madame Barara, a.k.a. Brenda, also known
Miss Mbara, because there's a Miss Tourism going on right now. So this would be Miss Mbara.
Yeah, the representative. But you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Smart.
Good to be
here.
I
love your outfits.
Oh, thank you.
You look elegant this morning.
Must I add that I made this myself? I'm
wow,
actually a fashion designer.
Don't say.
Yeah.
You know how they ask you, you're very smart. Where are you going? You know, we used to have clothes for moving.
Sundays.
Well, me, I have to be a walking billboard. Any moment is a dress moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you, Felix?
I'm awesome. It's good to have you guys this morning.
Good to be here.
We saw you woke you up very early in the morning. When did you last wake up at around 5 4?
Actually, I wake up early. Okay, 5 is a bit extreme.
Oh.
But yeah.
So early is 8?
No, 6. 6 a.m.
So I called someone today morning and I was telling them, so I have to come and pick you somewhere. They're like, they'll pick me last. I don't know exactly that was, but
I think I have an idea.
You do.
Yep.
You show me that. So you guys are here for music.
Yes, we are.
And you guys have a band.
Yes, we do.
What this band? Is it you know, when we hear band music, honestly and truly, I kept on thinking soprano. Priscilla even booked herself for the bass.
This would be the first one where we're going to have variations in vocals, because usually I think people in Kampala especially, when you say band, they think two things. There's a lot of instruments and then there's a vocalist and maybe a backup.
Soprano.
You get. But now here there's a whole battalion of people and it feels like we've been taken over.
Oh, and this is not it. This is just part of it.
You don't say.
Wow.
Yep.
So what is this whole thing that is not it now?
Mseto Nation?
Mseto Nation.
Mseto Nation.
Mseto
Nation. Okay. Is it a South African word? Sounds South African.
It's I will let somebody explain that. Somebody
that person, the person who told us to assure us in this segment.
Okay. So how do you guys what do you guys, definitely you do music, but how do you do it? What's the concept of the band?
So there's a little story behind Mseto Nation. Me, Brenda, have actually just joined Mseto Nation. Mseto Nation was formed, okay, you'll get to hear the full story. Mseto Nation was formed in 2017 by my sister, Anita Asasira, who unfortunately passed on Alicia in Jan.
Sorry.
Anita was a music professional. In my world, I used to call her the music genius. She was a lecturer at Makerere University, but by the time she passed on, she was doing her PhD in Australia in ethnomusicology. So she formed this band in 2017 as one of her many projects. She did a lot of music projects. So this band was formed by her. So they were working on several projects with her. They mostly do. So before I even say all that, these were all her former students.
Wow, like she taught each one of it. We're looking at 15 people just in this room.
Yeah, I mean, she taught, mentored. Everybody here has a personal story with her.
So she was teaching music that means like vocals, instruments, all elements of music?
All this that, what they were doing bachelor's in music.
Okay.
Really, like a variety of things. Yes, in Makerere University.
This is a good story.
Yes, so they were all mentored and taught, passed through her hands, literally.
Wow.
Yes, so now the band, Mseto Nation, actually has 4 guys, instrumentalists. Of course, the bass guitarist, the drummer, the pianist, and the other guitarist.
Wow.
So what happened is they used to get folk songs from the past, from the archives, and try to give them a new sound. That's the project they were working on with my sister, and obviously also trying to establish their career in the music industry. So when my sister, now back to my sister. So my sister used to write songs as a hobby, you know. She would just, in her bored moments, she'd just write songs and she would use an app to create, you know, instruments and all. Yeah, it was like a one-person band. So she always used to share with me because we come from a musical history. My mom was a music teacher. I actually also did music at a certain point, but didn't think there was a future in music until I saw my sister thrive. I was like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so she used to share them with me, and I'd be like, but Anita, these are really good songs. Why don't you just do something about it? Yeah, so sometime last year we were chatting when she was in Australia, and I said, you know what, we need to put this music out. This time when you return,
let's do it.
I'm going to make it my job.
Yeah.
You put this music out. So, as I said, she didn't make it back. Yeah, so how I got together with the band, I knew about the band, but I had not really like physically met them. Like I said, I'm a fashion designer, so I did some outfits for one of their concerts. So I didn't know them, I didn't really know them, but the time, you know, like she died in Australia, so we had a bit of waiting for the body to get here. And I thought, what more befitting thing could we do on her burial than to perform? So I shared the songs with the band. And in my head, I'd never met the band, and I said, you need to play these songs as they sound, you know, thinking that, you know, these guys need like a whole year to learn these songs. So after I went to meet them after 2 rehearsals, and I was blown away. I said, wow, so this is what my sister was dealing with the whole time. So to cut the long story short, we performed the songs, and from there I said, okay, I guess we can get together and actually do this. So we've done a 10-track album. We started in March. We've been rehearsing, and you know. So other people came in, like I said, other former students. The vocalists are also her former students. A couple of them were her best friends from church. She was big time in church. So we've done a 10-track album.
And it's the one that's titled Beautiful Love.
Yes, it's titled Beautiful Love. All those songs were composed, written, and
all these songs
by my sister.
Okay, it has
and
songs.
That's not all, actually. This is just the beginning. These are just the 10 tracks that we've done for now.
That you've recorded.
Jacob Zuma will say this is the beginning, so we wait for more, right?
Okay, so looking at the track list, it has Beautiful Love, Unchangeable, Can I Get a Witness, Up in Here, Never Alone. It has Best Friends Forever. I think I'd like to listen to that one.
You would. It's really nice.
Please, selector. Best friends. Okay. All right. Of course, there's one of those that has a video that we would like to share, and then we'll kick it off from there with the rest of the band.
Yes. Okay, so the one we'll share.
What's the name of the song?
Surely. It's called Surely.
Okay. Surely. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a video of Surely, courtesy of Mseto Nation Band. Oh yes, it's wow, that's very interesting music. Students all from Makerere University, they did bachelors in music.
Now they are artists.
Now they are
That will be offending.
No, but how many times do you actually find people who have done the same course and building together a community that is going to influence things?
Yeah, well, of course, it's quite very rare, and the first of a kind is with us in studio.
Yes.
And of course, as the word, normally in the local way, we normally say bandi erikofa wajina, and clearly we'll be giving you the best of such a band, and we can't wait to dive into this beautiful music. But of course, for some of you guys on our social media handles, be able to share with us what particular song you want Mseto band to do for you, and of course anything if you did get yourselves touched by the story that we did have, which is a very good one.
Yeah.
Very good one.
From
But of course aka Brenda. But also we can't wait to hear from you guys what district you are. But for now, we want to
we want to listen more to their music and less of our conversation. After all, it's Special Friday. But you can stream on YouTube, which is Uganda Broadcasting Corporation.
Yeah, exactly. And on Twitter, and of course, some of you who still can access Facebook, you can Facebook us. We are there. And of course, our WhatsApp, the number will be running on the screen. But let's get you guys into the nice soul music of Mseto Band.
You and I were friends before we got together, went our separate ways and even fell in love, but we just never found what we were looking for until we found a way back to each other. Now we are here together, holding hands, beginning our lives together as one. Today I promise forever to love you and never let you go, because you make my life beautiful. You are so beautiful, my beautiful love. Oh, my beautiful love. Standing at the altar now with you here, I try to hold back tears of joy, because now my dreams have been fulfilled. You're my answered prayer, in you is a reflection of my joy. Now we are here together, holding hands, beginning our lives together as one. Today I promise forever to love you and never let you go, because you make my life beautiful. You are so beautiful, my beautiful love. There is no one that can compare to you. You were made just for me, only for me. Yes, you are my beautiful love. Today I promise forever to love you and never let you go, because you make my life beautiful. You are so beautiful, my beautiful love.
That was so beautiful. My God. You people at home are watching these beautiful people doing some beautiful music. My name is Beck, and the next song is called Surely. Let's go. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Check. Right. Look, her name is Fortunate. No hate, only love. No need to hesitate. Celebrate, jubilate. She don't need no introduction. Please don't make no assumption. She's a worshipful warrior, woman of faith. But I get in the zone, give her the mic, it's on. Delivering God alone, a faith unshakable. Blessed to be the child of the Most High God. An overcomer, victory is a song. Hey. All the days, y'all. Sing surely. Hey. All the days. Yeah. I think it's time to take this one to church, y'all. Hey, don't stop there now. Hey, see, I appreciate all you do every day. That's what I'm here to say. We'll love you all the way. He'll never leave you or forsake you or forget you. Yes, he'll fight for you. So raise your hands up in the air and sing with me. Hey. All the days, y'all. Sing surely. Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you Mr. Abolias Megade. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Hey. Sing. Hey. All the days, y'all. Sing surely. Hey. All the days. Come on, sing. Yeah. All the days, y'all. Sing surely. Come on. All the days. Yeah.
Mseto Nation vocal band. We're here to thank God for the 5 years brought us, and we're doing Webale Yesu of the Beautiful Love album.
of your grace, I can stand here in your presence. I can never comprehend your greatness sovereignty, but to thine I am a praise. Because of your love, because of your grace, I can stand here in your presence. I can never comprehend your greatness, sovereign King, but to thine I am a praise. Nakusifu Mungu, Mfalme wa wafalme. Nakusifu Mungu, Bwana wa mabwana. Nakusifu Mungu, wewe ni Mwenyezi Mungu. You will reign forevermore, milele na milele. Nakusifu Mungu, Mfalme wa wafalme. Nakusifu Mungu, Bwana wa mabwana. Nakusifu Mungu, wewe ni Mwenyezi Mungu. You will reign forevermore, milele na milele. Nakusifu Mungu, Mfalme wa wafalme. Nakusifu Mungu, Bwana wa mabwana. Nakusifu Mungu, Mfalme wa wafalme. Nakusifu Mungu, Bwana wa mabwana. Nakusifu Mungu, Mfalme wa wafalme. Nakusifu Mungu, Bwana wa mabwana. Nakusifu Mungu, Mfalme wa wafalme. Nakusifu Mungu, Bwana wa mabwana. Nakusifu Mungu, Mfalme wa wafalme. Nakusifu Mungu, Bwana wa
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much, Mseto. So is Mseto Nation, I was asking earlier, is it a Swahili word or Xhosa? I mean, maybe Joanne, who has the microphone. Please don't give her the microphone. We have been waiting for Aloysius, really. everyone we ask about Mseto says next, pass. So please pass to Aloysius. Hi, Aloysius.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
So what's the name of your hairstyle?
This is a changwe.
Okay, nakwekuta. So clearly, also the changwe is common in Mseto Nation.
Yeah, it's a common thing.
It's only Brenda who doesn't have changwe, but Joanne has a bit of. Hers is modern. No, this one they sell in. They used to sell in ShopRite when you used to go to school. You want so. Sebo,
Yes,
what is this Mseto thing?
Mseto Nation is a word that comes from two words, that is Mseto and nation. So it's Mseto is a Swahili word that means. Let me start with nation. Nation is an English word that means nation. You know, we're having music from very many nations and music for very many nations. Mseto is a Swahili word that means hybrid. So everyone you see here is a representative of a hybrid nation. So that's Mseto Nation.
So we have Angola, Congo, Somalia, Sudan.
Definitely.
Oh, really?
In the music.
How
in the
lovely.
music.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
We
so
have this album, but many albums are coming.
Right.
We have another album that is already there actually, but not yet launched.
All right.
Yeah. So in those other albums, you can hear that Mseto Nation.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Wow, that's lovely. Clearly, Mseto Nation, hybrid nation, is what we're having also today on Good Morning Uganda Friday special. But if you didn't enjoy what they did, clearly you don't know enjoyment after enjoyment. And we're going to be having more of that. Of course, now we want to have a little bit of current affairs, and probably I'll be engaging one of these guys randomly to tell us about this NSSF bill that happened. And we'll be able to see if they have that nation of the current affairs among the various things. But we'll be taking a break. We'll come back to have Robert and of course Takali, who will be taking us through the stories of the week. Let's take a break.
This is Good Morning Uganda. It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Kagano twalekedde ekyatulese tuzze tukalanga enfunda eziwerako ddala eno yego TV Super eyabakaguje njagala wekaani ewatali kwemamaaza olwo tuba tusimbudde ne TV Super dupa wawawa era nga bakutuusyako ekiga ekyabakabejja abasajja eŋŋwaŋŋuli ogata ne busineema obujjudde omuhabati ku mitwalo 5,15 wawawa soka bulaza weefunye ekirungo kya TV Super ekijjudde obulungi ove mu baaje.
Pick of the day on UBC, brought to you by.
Their job is to keep you and me healthy and well. But sometimes they try in vain.
How to get points? Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
It's super cool to be a mass superhero, to get the spread of the virus to 0. Did you know that just wearing a mask is not enough? Yes, correctly wearing a mask will protect you and others, but you still have to remember to wash your hands with clean running water and soap, or using a sanitizer, socially distance, and avoid crowded areas. Wearing a mask helps protect you and others from spreading viruses. To get the spread of the virus to 0.
This is Good Morning Uganda. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Welcome to our current affairs segment of it, away from the music bit of it. It is a Friday and we're here to spice up your Friday with the information, but also the music that maybe you could be missing, like band music. Most of those places are still under lock and we cannot have that. But here in Good Morning Uganda, our special Friday edition, we do that for you. Now it's time we look at some of the stories that have made headlines throughout the week. And I'm not alone, I'm with the lady herself, the lady full of Africanacity, and of course the moralist with us every Friday, Rachel Takali. Good morning.
Morning.
How have you been?
I'm quite well, thank you.
The ups, the downs of the week, briefly?
I think the down has been the very forceful attack of Rwanda on the dignity of the UPDF. It's amazing. Countries don't usually do that in the open. Those allegations can be made, but they're usually through diplomatic circles. So it's interesting to note where Rwanda hopes to go with this. That is in itself a low point. I think the high point is the very forceful stance that President Museveni is taking concerning promoting sciences in this country. He's been on record advocating for such a position, but I think he's now putting legs to this promise, and I don't think he will step back
from the push that he has launched this Science Week. It is a good thing, I think, to now finally start on a path that will define probably his legacy. We know that, for example, he began such a position when he established MUST, Barrow University of Science and Technology. I think it has been his baby for a while now, but I think it's receiving an additional push that can sustain such a vision into the future. Of course, it has drawbacks, but I think it's a good thing.
Well, I think to me the week has been a mixture of so many things. Well, on the high, yes, the science issue. We saw the Science Week, and me looking at a number of innovations being done here by our people is very, very motivating, and of course showing that Uganda, we will then reduce our imports and have more of our exports. Though, like you say, there are a bit of challenges, but I think all these bottlenecks will be addressed with time. My law has been the case that has been in the media. That is the Desire Mirembe, and of course the family, and how a suspect once in court, on court bail, disappears. But also, many a times when we see these families, if you remember the Pine issue that had Sebufu, where the family of the deceased still have to hold press conferences, they have to, justice should not be delayed. So when we see these people already grieving, they're in pain, but also they feel maybe doubtingly of the justice system to deliver justice to them. I think that has been my law of the week. But also the issue of the Congolese refugees. A good number have now returned home. But also these are things, like you said, that I think we must do away with, because we can't sustain the numbers. We cannot have wars here and there and think that what we can do best is sustaining numbers. Let them keep coming. For us, we are very hospitable. For us, we have the places, we have a very good refugee policy. Then maybe we'll wake up when we are observed into people that are coming from different countries and not our very own in terms of numbers, or even outnumber us, which may not be very good for our nation as well. So let's begin by looking at the issue of the Congolese refugee. Is when they came in, that is the fighting between the M23 and of course we had the ADF there. Counter accusations, but the challenge remains. Yes, we are proud to be #1 in Africa, hosting the hugest or largest number of refugees. In the world, we are the 3rd. These are good, but in one way or the other, even if you aim to save brothers and sisters running away from danger, I don't think this is sustainable.
Well, I think that is one of the costs of living in a very troubled neighborhood. We have troubles in Congo, we have troubles in Sudan. There are troubles now, of course it's further away, but there are troubles also brewing in Ethiopia. Somalia is not far behind. It's a troubled part of the world. And I think the NRM government has always been sensitive to the fact that many of them were refugees themselves. So they're not willing to do anything but keep the doors open. In fact, in this particular case, an exception was made because, remember, the borders of this country remain largely closed because of COVID-19. But this was waived to allow these people to actually make it into this country. Of course, the one-day influx was a very high volume sort of influx. 11,000 in one day. 8,000 were said to have come through Uganda and 3,000 through the other border at Bigaya, I think it is. Of course, Uganda was not that prepared for this sort of volume. Neither were UN agencies. Much of the money has not been raised to actually cater to this problem at this time. But I think something more comforting is that many of them have returned home as we speak, because there's been a lull in the fighting. The DR Congo government forces, I think, have largely extinguished that fire this time. But I think down the road, the dynamics that caused this conflict on and off for all these years need to be decisively laid to rest. What is it that brews conflict as a way of life for the people of Congo? I don't think that has been well taken care of. They have a very huge UN presence that has not brought this problem to an end.
Of course, not forgetting that also Congo is a very large nation. True. Because when you go to Congo, you find that most of the government in Kinshasa has even some areas where it has no foot on ground.
And I think also blessed or cursed, however you see it, with a formidable amount of natural resources that has caused little kingdoms, warlords, and so on and so forth. Going forward, this region, I think, needs to step up its efforts to help Congo, to help Sudan. Sudan is also still contending with all manner of contradictions within its borders. But unfortunately, Uganda keeps on the receiving end of these forever troubles.
One of the key reasons is that Uganda made it very conducive for refugees. If you read our refugee policy, where refugees are allowed free movement, they're allowed to work in that country, contrary to our neighbors. Of course, we've been praised on many international forums that, well, Uganda's model regarding refugees is very, very good, something we should emulate, but at the end of the day, it's very stressful. When I was looking, watching Parliament in session, something, if you've not watched on UBC TV, you always have that. And I saw ministries come in and government asking for supplementary budget. And what was very fun, that one of the monies they were needing was also for issues of refugees. So this meant really that to a certain extent, much as our development partners come and give in aid, but it's also draining us as a nation. And the best way, I think, is to ensure that we find methods how we can work to stem or to uproot the root causes of these refugees. Because, Rachel, between you and me and people watching us, these guys aren't running away from natural calamities, which we could say these are acts of God, therefore let's bring together our resources. These people are running away from man-made problems because they are running away from the power of the gun. If it was maybe a volcano has erupted, if it was maybe they are running away from floods, if those are things we would say that, you know, it's God doing these things. Man could have an impact here and there. But war is something you can choose to go for war, you can choose to create peace. So how do we come together as neighbors and understand that when one part of this continent or this region is coughing, the other is sneezing, is having pain. So how do we solve this issue? But I think so much emphasis is being put on how best do we manage refugees. Millions of monies that are coming in the refugee problem. What if we diverted this money, maybe as East Africa, to have a standing army that can go and wipe out any form of rebellion or rebel group? What if we went that course? And also what is annoying sometimes, you hear these counter accusations that you're supporting your harboring. You're supporting your harboring. How best do we have a big brother into this within the region that can come in have neutral grounds and settle such things so that we end the refugee crisis? Well, away from that, this week also there was a disturbing story, and that is the Uganda Railways Corporation, where this time we saw people in offices went and purchased 4 locomotives. First and foremost, Ministry of Finance had advised them that you guys, when you're going to buy these 4 locomotives, buy those that have worked for 6 years at 38 billion Uganda shillings. The guys went and procured those that have worked for 8 years at a much higher price of 48 billion. So what happened is Kosasi has been on the neck, but even as they were still looking at that, another tin of worms was unearthed, where about 57 hectares of land was sold in a dubious manner that they find hard even to explain how this happened. You've always talked about morals, integrity, and in the fight against corruption.
Well, that is just a latest twist in this saga. That is corruption in this country. But unfortunately, Uganda Railways Corporation are chronic underperformers, gross underperformers. I've always wondered why they have these little locomotives that work within Kampala. You know them, the ones that ferry people from that side of Chereka and so on. They could help us quite a bit in relieving the transport or the jam issue in this city. But they don't seem to be interested in scaling up this particular operation. And now I know why. They're busy enriching themselves. They're busy eating that money left, right, and center. There are always things that we don't understand until you know the truth of what really has been going on. In this particular case, 12 billion is unaccounted for. That's why that good gentleman was detained at Parliament, the procurement officer. 12 billion he has been unable to account for. He paid out, and his team, 36 billion, of 48 that they took in, and those are the very same people who've disposed of that public land that you've talked of, and that money has never been registered in the coffers of URC. So this particular team is very robust in terms of their capacity to steal government resources. And now that they've been unearthed, we're waiting to see what the government that is on record saying they're fighting corruption will actually do in this case. These are very huge figures for a corporation that is, many of us have written off a very long time ago, because we really don't see value for money.
And these were efforts aimed at revamping, for example, this corporation. When we talked about buying these 4 locomotives, and government has settled for new ones, but they said because of the urgency in this matter, new ones will take a long time. Let's go for second hand that will arrive very soon, only to arrive and we have to make adjustments on our rail. They can't move on these rails, so we have to have some adjustment, and also the costs and what we got is also something that really even our operators cannot run them. They have to first go through thorough training, which may take a longer time. So the urgency that was needed, therefore, this befits the purpose.
I think impunity is one of the things that is tied routinely to political actors. But the impunity in some of these government ministries, departments and agencies is beyond comprehension. I mean, the boldness with which people execute these evil acts defies every standard of decency. This country is really on a fast track to, I don't know where. Something needs to happen, and I don't know when that day will come, when these sorts of things are nipped in the bag, in the bud, before they take us all with them.
Rachel, before we leave this, I want to give you an example. There is a gentleman who was the principal accountant in Office of the Prime Minister, that is Godfrey Kazinda, and of course a few other people. The same laws, the same system is able to nab, hold and punish thorough. Because I was discussing with a friend, I'm like, if everybody who was involved in corruption was handled the way Kazinda has been handled, they like to see that Jimmy Ramaphosa and a few...
Yeah, these people, the microfinance support.
I think this would be a better place. What is it that some are more smarter at this sacrificial lamb? Is it that depending on the investigatory machinery that sometimes in some cases, what is happening? Because we have the laws, we have the institutions in place. Uganda boasts of a number of institutions. We have, I think, about over 5. You have the anti-corruption unit, you have the IGG, you have the anti-corruption court mentioned, but the list is almost endless. And all these aim at fighting corruption.
I think those answers could be best brought to the table by Madame Kamia, and those maybe who've been in her shoes before that. The Director of Public Prosecutions. There are many people who should help us to understand what is the problem. Because many times, and in this case, the union at Uganda Railways Corporation is the one bringing these things to the fore. So they are really well informed. They're talking about salaries that are not paid. They're talking about terminal benefits that never arrive, irregular activity of every kind. But we don't see anyone riled. We don't see anyone upset. We don't see anyone springing into action. So you wonder, what does it take for people to realize that this country cannot go on like this forever? We really wonder. We do.
Well, I just loved some of the statements, though they were very annoying, appearing before Kosasi when a man said, for us, we were sidelined, and we told them, let them bring their things. You know, we were sidelined.
Concerning?
Concerning the purchase, we advised them, but they didn't concern. So we let them. And I want to have the whistleblowers. I think there's so much that could have been done, but I think, like Rachel said, we need to handle corruption in a way where we don't have selective justice, we let institutions work, and we love our country. Countries that have developed, one of the things they have fought is corruption. Talk about the likes of China, Singapore, and many of these. But also this week, on a good note, we had the Science Week, and there was so much innovation and so much science exhibited at Kolo Ceremonial Grounds, where we saw both those, the elite, and those in the informal sector, coming together and showing us the breakthroughs that Uganda has made. Here the president, while closing this, came out clearly and showed his desire to have science in terms of, first and foremost, This will help in reducing what we import and improve what we export, but also better place us at some level. COVID-19, there's so much that the world learned, where you couldn't move, where you could only depend on your country to treat, to heal, and fend and find what is needed.
Well, we've just been talking about corruption in some of these government bodies. But you know, corruption is not merely a financial issue. It is a moral issue, and so on and so forth. The president pointed out that on 2 previous occasions, Dr. Mseto had been denied an opportunity to work at Ministry of Health. Can you imagine? He placed her, he recommended, she was rejected. Recommended again, she was rejected. What I'm trying to say is, I don't know if her field cannot be accommodated within the Ministry of Health, but it begs an explanation, just like you were wondering. Why is it that some cases are prosecuted to the logical conclusion? Others, the prosecutions never even come, never even start. So why is it that if Dr. Mseto is as good at what she does as they say she is, that government agencies, other than the President's office, could not bear the thought of having her on board? Is it that, you know, there are many things in this country that are amazing. If indeed she's behind some of, promoting some of these innovations that we saw on show, if indeed she has been able to fast track some of the things that have not been able to see the light of day, why is it that others don't think she has a place in public service?
Let's look at the actual event. And of course, the intention to promote science and innovation in our country. I think because this is to a broader picture is what we yearn for as a third world country. And of course, this is what will even deliver us to our Vision 2040 as of now. How best can we boost science? I saw a number of innovators there, a number of technologies exhibited. But of course, we know that there are so many of those that could not even make it or are trying day and night but not getting the breakthroughs. How best can we ensure we get to this?
The reason why I came at it from the angle of Dr. Mseto is you cannot have the wrong people in place and expect this thing to prosper. That's really why I was talking about Mseto. These suggestions and these proposals have been on the table for a very long time. But willing actors and the right actors are hard to find in this country. You're asking me how we move from where we are to where we need to go? We need to have individuals that have this country at heart. You had the terrible revelations or claims against Madame Mseto. I really don't know if she did these things. But if she did, that shows you that these sorts of programs have very terrible enemies. And I'm not talking about the fact that we don't have people who can execute them. But people who have Uganda at heart are few and far between. So finding those people is really an uphill task, and that really is the starting point. Uganda is not short of skilled manpower. There are many people, like President Museveni has said many times, that have these skills, Ugandans, but they fled this country long ago, not because of political persecution, but because the environment has refused to accommodate them. You will be interrupted here, and you will be interrupted there, and refused funding here, refused other resources there. So Uganda as a country must really understand that the human resource must be what it should be. The people of this country need to be realigned mentally, be realigned psychologically, to realize that if they keep shortcutting the progress of their own country, we will never arrive as a nation.
We will never arrive. Indeed, that calls for us to be patriotic enough and also know that the countries we admire, the countries we always talk about in terms of referring to them to research and how they have gotten there, is because they took a very strong decision that they had to move forward. Well, finally, Rachel, also one thing that has made headlines this week is the Desire Mirembe. Of course, the ongoing case, and we know that we just can use it as an example of the so many and how best we can improve our judiciary system to ensure that justice should not get to this level. Justice should be expeditious. Justice should be something that you smoothly get. Not that someone has to go to the media, someone has to hold placards, have press conferences, even taking all this long from 2015, and so many cases are just in a minute regarding this.
Well, there is something very wrong about many of our public systems, of course. And this man, when he is said to have committed this act, was at the starting end of his medical training. The man completed his medical training. And this was 6 or 7 years ago. Why would a fugitive from justice, as they call him now, be on the loose that long? What happened? It took vigorous campaigning by his family to remind the state of its obligations to shelter us from criminal acts. We're not saying this man did these things, but why has it taken all this while? The man has definitely been around, to the point of there's a medical officer in Jinja who was detained for providing him with fake COVID-19 papers. Now he's intent on fleeing the country. He nearly got his passport back from the courts. Why is this the case? We wonder, as you said, we wonder why some people are quickly chained and detained and the weight of the law brought to bear, and others have a good time, walk around, do their businesses and complete their education, and now he's on the way to America to have an even better life. We really need to examine ourselves as a society. This is disheartening. It really is.
Well, those are some of the highlights that dominated the print and electronic media this week. There could be stories we have not touched, but we'll pick out those that we feel. But to end this, one thing that is very clear, there is so much that has to be done in our country in terms of reshaping our moral fabric as a country, but also in terms of understanding that it is us to make Uganda the place we want it to be. It is us to ensure that we have all these institutions work in a way that delivers services to the desired people. Let's look at also what is trending in the print media this morning. That is in the New Vision, the Daily Monitor, and of course the Daily Nation as well. We'll begin with the Daily Nation this morning, and it's our time. That is very interesting. Kenyan politics, they'll be going to the polls next year, and of course there are a number of youth there, people agitating to ensure that they get into the politics of that country, and it is their time. Still looking at what is happening in Kenya, teachers reject health cover, demand change in the provider. That is the teachers in Kenya. Still looking at South Africa, the last apartheid leader, that is F.W. de Klerk, dies. His legacy has also sparked mixed reactions there. Then students to spend 30 years in jail for killing a priest. Oh, very unfortunate there, but justice has finally been delivered. Still, we look at the Daily Nation, where they give you more regarding, that is after year of recap. What are they referring to? More is there, but also still that any morning, the Daily Nation gives you more in terms of security. Officials guarding Ruto home being starved. Oh, what is happening there? In sports also, there's so much regarding football as well. Away from the Daily Nation, we now look at the New Vision this morning. Recruitment of teachers starts at sub-county level. Schools will be reopening, that is just next year in January, and there's so much being done to ensure not only safe reopening, but also the numbers of the teachers and the student ratio there also improved. Still looking at the study material for you there. That's Senior 1 English, Chemistry plus Senior 6 Economics and Physics there. While also harvesting money, that is water, hygiene, good for livestock. This could be a good problem. If it's on our waters and livestock can feed on it, then that is something we can ensure we can reduce the burden as well. Then President Yoweri Museveni with the German ambassador to Uganda, and there's so much still the New Vision gives you regarding that. Well, those are some of the papers that we have been able to look at this morning, but you can find yourself a copy and get more information regarding that. Rachel, your final or your last kick as we leave out.
Well, the potential of this country is well known. But I think as a country, it's about time we stopped contradicting ourselves. It's about time we stopped shooting ourselves in the foot. We, a long time ago, needed to take the hard decisions to move this society forward. We know what we need to do, but we have not demonstrated the resolve to go the distance.
Well, I end with this biblical verse that says, The heart is willing, but the body is weak. Have a lovely week. It is time we get back to music. And of course, Molin will be here to give you a hint on weather and nature. Good morning.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Raising voices.
Like other fathers across Uganda, I'm standing up to say no to violence against children. I commit to give my children a violence-free childhood. As fathers, we can make Uganda safer for our children. I promise to speak out when I see violence.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
If you look at all sectors, energy has an influence.
Now, how do we build a model that is sustainable? We're making good investments and we're growing the sector.
Our record under UEP had not been that very good.
World Bank Group has been involved in Uganda electricity sector since the mid-2000s, where it has supported the government in very bold reform.
The last 15 years we focused on the parameters that were set in our concession that was negotiated at the time. It took the best minds of Uganda to work on it and also the best minds internationally because they had to plan for 20 years ahead.
As remember, we have innovated over the period. We've rolled out cashless. We introduced payment metering, Yaka. As I speak now, the 1.5 million customers are all on Yaka.
The transition has been very, very good because Ugandans who enjoy the power went out and bought shares.
Umeme's massive investment, a robust and functional distribution network that will impact the lives of Uganda's over 40 million citizens.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
It is a special Friday indeed, a special edition, and I hope you're enjoying the music. It is still continuing, by the way, so yes, that's how we get into the weekend. But also we want to look at more of what is coming in from Glasgow, UK, where world leaders are still converging to talk about climate change, and most of the agreements have been made. We saw a very powerful one yesterday where China and the US did agree to come together and come up with more plans on making sure that we cut the coal production, and that means we are looking at net zero. But also from the outcomes of yesterday's most of the plenary sessions that went down, we are looking at more ways to get net zero in terms of transport, and most of the ambitious plans that actually came out are referring to having electric vehicles more onto the market, and this is still something that world leaders are looking at. And so far we're looking at least 8.5 million people who use the roads over the year. That means contributing to the emissions of most of these greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. But there is a plan, and this can be this can be achieved, especially if we all look at the fact that this is something we can do. Even back home here, you did see, I want to commend Kirabo who are coming up with electric vehicles, the first of their kinds. And Uganda is being one of the countries, the first countries in Africa to take into action the plan to have electric vehicles on the road. And they were showcasing actually from the Science Week, showcasing one of the charging centers. So this is something that we can actually adapt to and have these vehicles on the road. We're doing that to make sure that we are getting away from the vehicles that are using fossil fuels, meaning that they are contributing more to the atmosphere. So it was really nice to see that leaders are really emphasizing this, and at the end of this week we are coming to the final days of COP26. So these are some of the agreements that are being made in regards to having electric vehicles. But also more of that, there is untapped energy when it comes to using the oceans to generate electricity. Now, we did see some of the samples that are coming through, and also CNN was making a report on this, showing that we could actually generate energy from the oceans that we have. Well, these are natural resources. We have the waters there. So the question is, why aren't we using these natural resources to make sure that we have energy? And I'm happy to see that at least most companies are now looking for options, because before, everyone who wanted to do anything, they would run to fossil fuels. But now there is renewable energy, something that is can be tapped from nature and be used to generate electricity. So this is going to be one of those, now that we are looking at more countries heading in for this. But also much of the progresses that are coming in. Yesterday we did see the United Nations Secretary General, that is Antonio Guterres, talking about what the UN is pledging to do. And most of the pledges that are coming up by some of these world leaders now, he is insisting more on implementation. Well, they are going to develop policies, they are going to come up with all these strategic plans, but how much can we do in terms of implementation? Is there anything that we have left out? So yes, we also have a delegation here in Uganda that will be coming in after COP, and we want to see action. We actually demand for action. We just don't want to see it, but we are demanding for it. They are representing us, but having all this science across without action on ground is really going to be a difficult situation. But we still have a few more days to the end of COP, so we'll be looking into more of what today also has, and also over the weekend we will be following up those conversations, and Monday we'll give you an updated story of how COP has ended and what is the way forward. But until then, we want to take a look at how the weather is looking like this morning across the country. And from our satellites, I can tell you we did start off with mostly intervals of sunny and cloudy conditions across the country. A few rains, though, across the islands of Lake Victoria. We did start off with that huge system from the islands of Lake Victoria that is in deep red, where you see yellow, close to green as well, and blue. That's the rainy system. It did start off from the side of Tororo, that is eastern Lake Victoria Basin, but it is also moving westwards, and that is likely to also be dumping a few rains across parts of central Lake Victoria Basin, as well as the western Lake Victoria Basin. But we can see most areas actually did start off with sunny skies across the Karamoja region. Quite a sunny morning even there. Eastern Uganda, pretty sunny as well. Across the northwestern part of the country, midwestern, we are seeing clouds though that are starting to develop across the central northern Uganda, where we have Gulu. Gulu is already having cloudy conditions, and those are likely to bring in rains later as the morning progresses. We also see some of the clouds that are starting to develop across parts of southwestern Uganda, as well as across midwestern Toroko, Fort Portal, Rwenzori, already having cloudy conditions, and we are expecting to have rains over there. But mostly I'm focusing on this system that is starting from the Lake Victoria. That means that this could actually be bringing rains even as we speak across Kalangala. Those rains are there, stretching from the northeastern part of the lake. That is already experiencing rains as we speak. But this system is likely to continue as we head into the afternoon. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at our forecast for different areas across the country and see how the weather is going to be looking like for this morning. We start off with Central Lake Victoria Basin, where we have Mukono, Kampala, Entebbe and Wakiso. We are forecasting isolated showers. Those will be starting at Pleasant 26 now over a few areas, but later in the afternoon we will see that starting to clear off. We'll look at central northern Uganda, where we already have those clouds developing. Those will be bringing in rains, and starting off with a warm 27 degrees centigrade for this morning. But sunny conditions are expected later in the afternoon for northern Uganda. You can look out for that. Now we look at the eastern part of central, where we have Ruwero, Wobulenzi, Buludi, Nakaseke. We are forecasting isolated showers that will be also starting off with quite warm weather. We're looking at 27 degrees centigrade, and we could also be having sunny intervals in the afternoon. So that means temperatures will be going up. We could have a 29 by the end of the day. Now we look at eastern Uganda, where we have Soroti, Katakuya, Muria and Kumi. We are forecasting isolated showers. We're looking at mostly a pleasant morning, starting off with 26, but also that area is expected to clear into a sunny day later in the afternoon. Those rains will only be over a few areas. Now over to the eastern parts of Lake Victoria, where we have Tororo, Busia, Iganga and Jinja. We are forecasting rainy conditions. We already have clouds developing over that area, but starting off with a warm 27. Also that is expected to clear later in the afternoon for sunny intervals. Now we look at Mount Elgin Highlands, where we have Mbale, Bududa, Boko, Sironko, starting off with rainy conditions, mostly in form of scattered showers, but also those will be across a few places, starting off with a chilly 25 degrees centigrade. However, that system is also expected to continue later in the afternoon. Well, we have southwestern Uganda, where we have Mbarara, Ibanda, Boshenyi, Rubirizi, where we are forecasting isolated showers, and those are also starting off with a cool 26 degrees centigrade. That system is expected to continue into the afternoon, so if you're headed there, you might need to be aware of that. We're looking at the western side of Lake Victoria, where we have Masaka, Kalisizo, we do have Sembabule, we have Raka in that category, forecasting isolated showers. Those will be across several places. That system is already coming through, and it will continue into the afternoon, starting off with a 26 for this morning, but that will be clearing off also later in the evening. Well, that is it in terms of weather, but guess what? Last night was, I think, somewhat a good evening. Uganda Cranes did perform, not to the 3 points that we wanted, but they did perform, and Ruben is here to make an analysis on that. He's smiling. I think you are rooting for Uganda Cranes.
The Cranes did a lot of nothing yesterday.
Really?
So there's nothing to talk about. There was no tactics. The coach was clueless. The players were not interested. So I don't even have time to give the Cranes. I don't think we need to talk about the Cranes today because of their performance yesterday.
They got us a point, Ruben. You have to appreciate that.
But the point takes you where? What we wanted was a qualification. What we wanted was to have the final hope in the final game, and we didn't have that. So why would we even?
It was hard luck. Well, but let me leave you to it. Otherwise, a very good.
But before you go, Molin, you people who have been following the Cranes, the fans, how did you feel when your team performed the way they performed? Did you feel any better, or you felt angry? You felt the team let you down as fans?
No, 100% I was disappointed.
Okay.
I expected more. I wanted more, because we've come so far to just let that dream just, water down. So I was a bit disappointed, but I'm like, okay, not as disappointed as Arsenal people. I think the way Arsenal people and Manchester United handle. well, but you can go ahead and take us through sports.
Okay, thanks so much, Molin. First, away from the weather, my name is Ruben once again. I want to thank the band. I've been looking at the machines here. There's a piano, there's where they step. I don't know what this is called, but I saw a drum, Ngala Nzungu. This is the Ngala Nzungu, I think. But I want to thank the band. I saw a beautiful woman here who I need to talk to before I go to see if there is something that we can work out. But anyway, I'm just joking. I'm going to give you sports. But I want to thank the band for their performance. They did a great job. Of course, they're still doing a great job to entertain you. But of course, away from that, let's discuss sports. Molin was asking me about the Cranes' performance yesterday, and I'll be very honest with whoever is watching. I won't have any kind words for the national team. I mean, like when I was watching the analysis yesterday, Timothy echoed something out which I also want to re-echo again. The system of play, what Mitchell was up to, and nobody knows. And then Alan Okello coming on late in the game is something I've never understood up to now. And so many other players who didn't perform. But anyway, African qualifiers, that's World Cup category. We had Uganda draw with Kenya, that was 1-1. Ethiopia 1, Ghana 1. Tanzania lost to DR Congo by 3 goals to nil. Mali 3, Rwanda 0. Jagena was here telling us that Rwanda can do a miracle. I told him it can't rain soda, and it never rained soda. Rwanda lost comfortably against Mali. Congo, that is Congo, Brazzaville did draw with Namibia, that was 1-1. Benin 2, Madagascar 0. South Africa 1, Zimbabwe 0. Now, Benin, we're talking about Benin. Adem Wesigwa, one of our former captain, was actually torn apart by Omotoyosi, Razak Omotoyosi in that game. But anyway, Uganda has no chances now of qualification. And anyway, who even thought that we shall qualify for the World Cup? I don't think it would ever happen. Anyway, in Asia, we had Vietnam, the makers of rice, manufacturers of rice, did lose to Japan by 1-0. China did draw with Oman, that was 1-1. Iraq 1, Syria 1. Korean Republic, that is North Korea, did actually beat UAE, that was 1-0. Austria 0, Saudi Arabia 0. That was in Asia. Then in Europe, we have games, but today that will be commencing. Of course, we have Moldova will take on Scotland. Italy will play against Switzerland, and then Northern Ireland will play against Lithuania. Austria against Israel. Denmark will take on Faroe Islands. Now, there are teams, Kirabo, you look at in Europe and you wonder which kind of teams are these. Faroe Islands, Andorra, there is Azerbaijan, Albania, Macedonia. If those teams play against Uganda, they will not win in St. Mary's Stende. But Andorra will take on Poland, England against Albania. That will be more of a walloping, if you ask me. And so many other games that will be played in the World Cup qualifiers as we prepare for Qatar 2022. But this time around, the World Cup will be in November. It won't be in the summer as we are normally used to watching the World Cup in June and July. It's going to be in November. Other results, we had Luxembourg beat Azerbaijan by 3-1, Georgia 2, Sweden 0. Russia did beat Cyprus by 6-0. Armenia 0, North Macedonia 5. Republic of Ireland did actually draw with Portugal, that was 0-0. Greece lost to Spain at home, that was 1-0. And Croatia thumped Malta by 7-1. This is what I was saying. There are teams in Europe that have no business in football. Luxembourg, Malta, Faroe Islands, teams like Cyprus, Andorra, Georgia, those are not good teams. If the Cranes played against them, you would see, even Bucharest can beat Faroe Islands, if you ask me. In Africa, we have Djibouti will take on Algeria, Burkina Faso will take on Niger, Gabon, Libya, Guinea will take on Guinea-Bissau in that Guinea derby. Angola against Egypt, and then Morocco will take on Sudan. That is the Khartoum, Sudan, Republic of Sudan, not South Sudan, but Sudan. So those will be the games we shall be having today. And of course, I'll go to NBA briefly about NBA Edmond. I'm sure I had some NBA games which were played last night. The 76ers did actually beat the Raptors this morning. They lost the Raptors. That was 115 at 109. We had the Jazz lose to the Pacers. That was 111 to 100. And then the Clippers did beat Miami Heat. That was 108 to 104. So we'll be having other games going into tomorrow, the NBA games. The Hornets will take on the Knicks. We shall have Celtics against the Bucks. Then the Cavs will take on the Pistons. The Rockets will take on the Blazers. Then the Grizzlies will take on the Suns. The Pelicans will take on the Nets. And then we'll have the Thunder taking on the Kings. The Spurs will take on Mavericks. The Nuggets will take on the Hawks. Then the Warriors will take on the Bulls, and the Lakers will be entertaining the Wolves. That will be in NBA tomorrow morning. We'll be able to catch the games live. I have got to go. I think the team is here. Felix Nkunda and Priscilla will be telling us what is coming up next. I wish I could have the band again. For me, I'm used to the old band. We used to have the Cards band led by Felix Nkunda and Afrigo band. But this young band I've witnessed this morning, I also need to be part of the band if the chance is there. Do I even know how to sing? I don't know. But I can actually, do I know how to sing?
Clearly, schools like Namidyango, they are interested in these things of singing. The only thing Namidyango tried to do was rugby.
No, they didn't try, but they are forced in rugby.
Indeed.
They are forced in rugby.
That's a matter of fact. You don't talk about rugby and don't talk about the boys. But singing, Ruben, have you ever attempted?
No, I can try one day at a time.
So the band is here. What you see, the instruments are quite many, but the most interesting instrument was
there's gonna be here.
There's a shirt dress. There's a shirt dress in a band.
Actually, I saw somebody. I want to be very honest with you, Felix. But you know, sometimes you give up on certain things and say, okay, my age can no longer do such. But if I had a chance, maybe.
Don't worry. But anyway, Ruben, earlier on we had discussing with my colleagues and we're asking, if you are a district, which district would you be in Uganda? Away from Buyikwa, please. Any district you would want to be in Uganda?
I'll actually go for Gulu.
Oh.
Yes. Why I go for Gulu? One time I spent a week between, I went to Ajumani, then Gulu, then Arua. What I liked about those people, they are honest, they are genuine, they are intelligent. So if you told me to choose a district I'll live in Gulu. They are straight people, they will never lie to
unfortunately, the shirt dress is from Barara. So clearly, as you wait for Okero and...
If it's shirt dress, then...
Well, of course, we're going to be launching one of the videos by Mseto Nation, that is surely, and of course later on we're going to have more of their music.
So the band is what?
Mseto Nation. And the gentleman told us it's Swahili word to mean hybrid, like probably fusion of different, all these kind of things. Okay. And you missed the story of the band. It's quite beautiful. Probably you'll catch up with the shirt dress. Okay. That's the reason why you should catch up.
There's somebody who had a good shoe, which I saw. It's a blue kind of with some funny hair. I like the shoe.
The hair is called Changwe.
Changwe.
So, me and you are not qualified for the
No, but that Changwe guy has a good shoe. I saw the shoe.
That's good. And I think he's a guy at the piano.
I was impressed by the shoe.
Well, of course, let's have the video from Mseto surely, and we're going to have more of their music when they come back.
Come on. Yeah. Woo. Okay. Yeah. Check. Yeah, her name is Fortunate. No hate, only love, no need to hesitate. Celebrate, jubilate, she don't need no introduction. Please don't make no assumption. She's a worshiper, warrior, woman of faith.
Mama Renee.
Better get in the zone, give her the mic, it's on. Delivering God alone, her faith unshakable. Blessed to be the child of the Most High God. An overcomer, victory is a song.
Surely, goodness and mercy will follow you all the days of your life.
All the days, y'all.
All the days of your life.
Sing.
Surely, goodness and mercy will follow you all the days of your life.
All the days.
All the days of your life.
Yeah. I think it's time to take this one to church, y'all.
Hallelujah.
Hey, don't stop there now.
Come now, raise a hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hey, see, I appreciate all you do every day. That's what I'm here to say. God loves you all the way. He'll never leave you or forsake you or forget you. Yes, he'll fight for you. So raise your hands up in the air and sing with me.
Surely,
hey.
goodness and mercy will follow you all the days of your life.
All the days, y'all.
All the days of your life.
Huh.
Surely,
hey.
goodness and mercy will follow you all the days of your life.
All the days.
All the days of your life.
Wow, wow, wow. Surely, surely. I need to say what? What's after surely, surely? All the days of your life. That's a nice phrase. I've had pastors use that to preach. And it's quite lovely. Probably it's also another beautiful morning again. So here we are with Mseto Nation Band. Is it a band?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So just before we get into this performance, I and Priscilla and the team were saying, how did you get these guys? Priscilla, I don't know. She will tell us how she got these guys, but we want to tell our viewers out there, how do we get to Mseto Nation? Which road or kidira wa katichi ko wetera like?
Olo mtigwa fene. Okay, so Mseto Nation, right now you can follow us on Facebook. We have a 10-track album that's coming out on 3rd December, so please look out for it. It's going to be on all music streaming platforms.
Wow. So
yeah, it's some exciting news. You really want to get this album.
Okay.
Yeah, we also have done a tribute concert in memory of our departed sister, Anita Asasira, whose music we are singing. It's going to be online on 13th December. So please follow us for more information.
Wow. Follow us on those social media handles. Now it's us. Yeah. But of course there's lots of feedback.
Mseto Nation on Facebook.
Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
Yes, our YouTube account is Anita Asasira with double S.
Okay.
Yes, you'll find a few videos there.
Wow.
Yes.
That's lovely. So just before we get into the messages and the feedback, what people are saying, we want to ask, what else do you do apart from, like, do you guys perform on concerts? Do you do weddings? Do you do all these kind of things? Like, what else do you do from recording and what?
Okay, yeah, so Mseto Nation, yes, definitely performs concerts. They've done, of course, a few concerts.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're still on the beginning journey with me and them, but they've been doing this for a while. Yeah, so yeah, they do weddings, they do concerts. We'll definitely be putting out more music. Like I said, this is just the beginning. Yeah, the rest you will just follow us.
Much more is yet to come.
Yes.
Yeah, so please follow Mseto Nation. Priscilla.
Yes.
Aren't you excited? Do you want to join?
What will you be doing?
Let's start with what are you going to be doing? They don't need. Do you have space for cheerleaders?
Yeah, they do. They do. You need moral support.
You see, she's forcing you guys to have more.
Monday to Monday, you need someone to just like, yay!
Oh, yeah. But anyway, okay. Priscilla, what are we having from...
Well, some people here have sent in messages on WhatsApp and they're letting us know how they feel about Mseto music this morning. Just waiting to feel that music, and voila, it eventually appeared and they respond in love with the music. So amazing. Mseto Nation, you rock.
Yeah, boy.
And then we do have another message here saying, hi, nice performance in Mseto Nation. Where can they get the music? Okay, I think you have been informed of where you can be able to get the music. You also do have another message here who's saying, good morning, Badia. Thank you so much for the music. I love it. Like, okay, you're right. Too many loves, we'll have to count them. But yes, it's definitely an awesome thing. Now, I think Felix was asking, or people wondering, how did we find this particular band? Well, one of his band members actually has been here on Good Morning Uganda before as a solo artist. When he came like with a battalion of instruments, and he was doing everything by himself. He did the instruments, he did the vocals by himself, he did the backup by himself, and his name is Andere.
Yeah.
Welcome
back,
the man. Anderea. How are you?
I'm okay.
Welcome
so
back.
Where have you been? Why is Priscilla welcoming you back? Here, right? I know it. So you have an event coming up. I saw somewhere, somewhere.
I have Endongo Monsko musical camp.
Oh, yes.
Wanji?
Which is Endongo Monsko.
Mwagala Tulia.
So it's happening on the 27th of November.
Oh yeah?
In Mukono.
Wow.
Musiko. Chakig Tourism Center. Yeah.
Say that again?
Chakig Ecotourism Center and Ndongo Munsiko.
Wow. So, you see? And I want to go to the school. But anyway,
so,
I'll talk to Nerea later.
Someone else has said a message, amazingly amazing music. And they are having the crying emoji. That's how deep the music has touched them. Okay, all right. We do have another message here coming in from St. Peter Robert, and you saying, great music I have listened to in such a long time. And he's still typing, by the way. He's still sharing his sentiments. So we'll wait for his typing. And then we do have another person here who's also sent in their message. Fred, thank you so much for listening in to Mseto Music and watching UBC Special Friday. You are saying, thank you for the music. I loved it. Well, wow.
Well, of course, let's give you more of this music so you keep loving it and keep typing. And I will give Mseto Nation the platform to do more music.
Okay, thank you, Felix. So something else I should add within... Sorry?
Please.
Oh, sorry. Within the group, there's several musicians as well, so we want them to, shine as well. So you've already introduced Andrea. He's going to lead us in one of his songs. Andrea, please introduce yourself.
Hello, viewers. This is Andrea Baguma, and this is Mseto Nation Band. Yes, singer-songwriter and guitarist. Yes. Okay, this song is Take My Hand of my album Andrea. Enjoy it.
At the lakeside is where I sit as I think of your beauty. In a dreamland is where I sleep as I imagine you and I. Ndiwa nonkuloza omutima wagweddiza ndiwa nonindirira loli jangu wangule sembera nkubulire ebinuma obivumule sembera nkubulire ebinuma obivumule kumbobo mutwe kumboba. When I don't see you around, gantucha maso gantucha. When I don't see you around, nzentide mpulira ntide empewe tandiso kunta mpulira ntide empewe tandiso kunta. But take my hand, take my hand, don't let me fall, let me fall. Please take my hand, take my hand, don't let me fall, let me fall. In envy is where I dwell. When I see you with other guys, it's too much pain that I feel. When I see you smile for them, hey, buba lyansuka sagala kulaba na mitawana te agagala enzikapi kyekagala kwekunyaga kati sembera osumulule mwana gwasumulula sembera osumulule omwana gwasumulula galabe begakanula gasaba mbondekeke yanze gakanula gaso gasaba mbondekeke yanze. But take my hand, take my hand, don't let me fall, let me fall. Please take my hand, take my hand, don't let me fall, let me fall.
Alosias Migade. this song is titled Abana Bembuga by Aloysius Mikade. It's off the album Pearl of Africa.
And I know exactly what my role in this band will be. I'll be the queen dancer, sure, the lucky queen dancer. Okay, we do have some responses. You've surely aroused people's mornings into the weekend, which is what Special Friday is all about. We do have Andrew Agaba who says, we are on in Kabale. He's even sending screenshots to show evidence, and he says you should go to Kabale. Now, no, like after here, Borden, go to Kabale. And he says you guys could be the next Afrigo band. What is missing is the sax, so get the sax and he'll be sorted. We do have Jacob Jefferson who's saying, wow, the music is epic. We do have someone else who is saying that this right from Bara is saying you guys should go on the whole day. The other programming should find themselves elsewhere. Then they say the guy with the white shoes has a nice smile. Yeah. Okay, this is Alex, Voice and Beats. Love you guys. Thanks for the show and big ups to Anderea. Okay, all right. Well, so many people are actually sending in messages, but we have to come to a wrap. That's what Special Friday is all about, to just kickstart you into the weekend so that you can be able to enjoy music. Now, music is the best way you can actually kickstart your weekend. Mseto Nation, exactly. And you can find them on Facebook. Their Facebook page is Mseto Nation. Now it's Mseto Nation, and you'll be able to get their music. They have 2 songs that are out with videos, and they're doing an album drop on 3rd December. So definitely that is something for you to look out for. Felix Nkunda, how do we say bye to such beautiful music sincerely?
Any of you watched Sound of Music?
Something went wrong.
You remember? I don't know. Any of you watched Sound of Music?
All of us. Yeah.
Were you born? And they really? Anyway, yeah. But anyway, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate our fans. Really appreciate our viewers, and also quite excited. I hope
but in case people have actually not caught the entire show, you can simply go to our YouTube channel, which is UBC Television Uganda, and you will definitely find Mseto Band.
And you also catch the smile of the guy with the white shoe. Yeah, that's.
Okay, so on to the last performance, and adios. Have yourselves a blessed weekend from Good Morning Uganda until we find each other again on Monday morning.
So the last song for the day is called Never Alone. Please permit me to take off my shoes because I need to grow. Okay, let's do this.
Under his control, when it's I'm ready to go.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or